If you've got a thirst for knowledge and a love for craft beer, then tune in to our podcast and let us bend your ear. From UFOs to rock and roll, you'll be ROTFL, you're AO. Saying, are you shitting me?
All right. Welcome to another edition of Are You Shitting Me? I am one of the hosts, Brett. With me, as always, is my good friend, Aaron.
What up? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I don't know which intro to do anymore.
I like it. It sounded good, especially for this one. This episode in particular, it's very...
Wait.
Are you shitting me?
I can't wait to hear where you go with this.
It's the shittiest episode we've done yet. This is Montezuma's revenge. We're talking about poop again today, people. I'm telling you. It's all over the place.
Boom, in your face.
Boom. Shittiest episode yet.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Seriously, right on. So yeah, I'm excited. I actually am excited to get back into this. This was a fun topic originally. One of the first ones we did, and here we are now, 3 years later, doing it again. So good stuff.
Yeah, it's the return. The revenge.
Revenge.
Montezuma's revenge. Wow. I don't know I didn't even look that up. Like, why do they call it Montezuma's revenge?
I did actually, back when the Spanish conquistadors and all those people were coming over here, they obviously met up with the Aztecs and they got really sick from drinking the water and eating the food over there. That's why they called it Montezuma's revenge. I don't know if it was called that at the time. Certainly it has spawned from that.
You know, I knew that's what we were going to call this, but I didn't look anything up about that.
There you go.
Before we get too far into it, we have a beer that you found that goes along well with this.
Oh, it was hard to find a beer for this one this time. First round, I don't think we were pairing beers at the time, were we?
I don't think so.
No, and we already reviewed unicorn poop on another one, and so that didn't do it. It's hard to find a beer that relates to poop or shit because you're not going to market that.
It's not a good selling point normally.
In comes Bad Dad Brewing Company. They are out of Fairmount, Indiana, and they have a Oktoberfest beer called Shits and Giggles. All one big word, Shits and Giggles. It's a lagered and German style Oktoberfest, and yeah, it has the can has like a, obviously there's fall leaves and foliage around there, but it looks like lederhosen.
Yeah.
So we shall see. There's a joke on the can. I don't know if you can read that. It says, "You know what they say about sausage jokes?
What?
They're the worst."
See, I don't.
WURST.
Where do you have that? I have oats
It's over.
I have
by
oats
the,
on the
in the right
label.
label by next to the barcode.
Oh, I see it. Look at you bringing a dad.
Yeah.
Somebody bringing a dad joke.
So this is a 7% ABV. Well, it smells like an Oktoberfest.
It does. This one didn't explode on me, so that's good.
That's good. Yeah. It's interesting. It's got a carbonated tingling to the tongue there. I mean, it's definitely carbonated, and it definitely is more of the German style than I feel like Oktoberfest. I don't get the pumpkin ale. Not that's really what you go for with there, but usually it's
Pumpkin ale? Is that what you just said?
yeah. The pumpkin beers, the pumpkin beers.
I don't
those
get
are all
that either
like
out of this. Pumpkin.
pumpkin spice. I guess I always relate Oktoberfest to pumpkin spice, which has nothing to do with that, does it? No.
No, like a Spaten Oktoberfest. That's what I'm thinking of. But it's got like a pretty traditional aroma, I think.
A little bite to me. I'm not sure,
I get a little bitterness in it.
especially mid-mouth and right to the back. It really starts to bite. So
Yeah, the aftertaste is bitey. Yeah. So we'll let it warm up, and as always, we'll see how it turns out.
yes, indeed. So we're back talking about poop. Just for the listeners who haven't listened to that episode, you should go back and check it out. aysm.show. You can learn about all this.
Do that now, and then we'll wait for you, and then you can come back.
Yeah, we'll hold it right here.
Welcome
Okay.
back. So that was really good, wasn't it?
Two dad jokes, man. We're on a roll. Last time, though, we talked about general facts, the history, some euphemisms, things like that. We talked a lot about bidets. And I think that's where I want to start today.
Oh,
Because we talked all about bidets last time. Good, bad. We didn't have any. We were hoping to get some. We did not get any sponsors send us any. So, but we'll still be open to them if you want to.
yeah, bring it.
But since then, both of us have purchased a bidet and have installed it into our restrooms, correct?
It's true. So yeah, these are like the toilet attachment style.
Yeah.
As opposed to like in Europe where you have a whole separate bowl or whatever. At least that's how I envision it. Yeah. So I've got a Tushy brand that I currently
Same.
use.
Yeah. Thoughts, reviews? What do you think?
I think we mentioned it in another episode, but it's odd getting used to a bidet. Having the wet ass throws you off a little bit, and I definitely can see the appeal and why it's good. I think it gets you clean, and you don't use toilet paper. It's hard for me to get in that rhythm. Like I'll use it before the shower, so it doesn't matter if I'm wet or not. But like in the midday, it's a little bit more difficult for me unless I have a butt rag. I don't know. I don't know what it's called.
You can still have toilet paper next to you.
I know, but when your butt's all wet, the toilet paper sticks to your butt. At least mine does.
See, now I'm a person who I enjoy sitting on the toilet for a while. I'll just read through, flip Facebook, or whatever else. So I know that when I'm done, that's when I'm turning it on, doing my rinse, and I still got 5, maybe 10 minutes to let it drip dry. I'm good to go by the time I stand up.
That's probably where I'm going wrong.
That's the strategy, man. I'm telling you. And it's just more guy time on the toilet. I'm telling you, it's good stuff.
I don't need guy time, but
We all need guy time on the toilet.
what I need is a hair dryer or a butt dryer, some kind of a fan to.
You need one of those Japanese AI ones that, like, not only will talk to you, will rinse and dry you, but maybe sing you a song and tell you and analyze your shit while doing it. You've been eating lots of corn.
You need more fiber. Weird. Yeah, you know what? I do like them.
Yeah, for me, I would say life-changing. I wish I had gone back and been using bidet all along. I'm telling you, I love it. I don't like pooping outside of my house now anymore because of that. I just feel
your neighbors also don't care for that.
No, they don't.
God, he's pooping outside the house again.
Damn it. Come on. I love it. I think it's great. For us, we've installed it on every bathroom you have free, and all of them have them there. Yeah. So just in case you need to go anywhere, you're prepared. But what's interesting is the one downstairs backs up to the outside of the house. And during the winter, obviously the pipes are right there. It gets cold. Yeah. And if you're not prepared for that at 7 a.m. when you're getting down there and you sit down to do it, it's shocking. It's probably better than coffee to wake you up.
Nothing like an ice cube in your sphincter, huh?
And I will also caution people, be careful turning it on the first time. You don't want to just crank it because it hurts. If you're not too much pressure on there,
ease into it. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to blow it over in there. I'm telling you, it's bad. Ease into it. Just let it start. You'll be happy with it. Just drip dry for 10 minutes.
It knows what to do. At first, I thought it was just going to be gross. I'm like, I'm going to get shit all over it, but that doesn't happen.
No. And even with the follow-up wipes, it's usually pretty clean.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. All right. Not a sponsor. They should be.
No.
That's right.
So what else are we going to talk about today?
I hate to go back and look at my browser history. I don't do that. If I did, the absurd stuff in there about poop that
make it onto the last episode.
Yeah.
By the way, anyone who's listening here, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to call you out on this, Brett. I've been over to his house. I've seen his computer, and Brett is one of those people who opens a browser and just leaves it open. So he's got like 500 browsers open.
Oh, for sure.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Easily 500 tabs are open right now. And I don't read email either. I've got 10,000 unread messages. But I did find some interesting poop facts that we had not talked about last time. So different cultures historically have used poop as medicine. Apparently in China, it was believed to have some healing properties, and they would treat ailments like fever, indigestion, things like that. And it was usually dried and put into powdered form for medicine, which I thought sounded delicious. Yeah. I also
sprinkle some over your potatoes. You're good to go.
Oh, put a little bit of that on ice cream. along those lines, it came up with about, I don't know if it was South Park, but someplace they talked about like stool transplants.
Yes, I came across this as well.
It's a thing.
I remember you're right. It's on South Park or somewhere where it was a fecal transplant.
Apparently, it's a microbiota transplant, fecal microbiota transplant. And it is where they take the stool from a healthy person and it's placed into the colon of an infected person. And it helps, it's a treatment for bacterial infection, essentially.
Yeah.
It sounds awful. I wonder, can you be a donor?
You can actually. That's the thing that I was going to follow up with. There are poop banks out there. You can
No.
donate. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Do they pay?
They do. Yeah.
I'm going to
I
make a
mean-
shit ton of money. No.
We're 3 for 3, man. Good stuff. You can donate. So I went to the page though. I was like, okay, what can you do? And honestly, they look for some kind of like certain characteristics within your body or blood work first before they even qualify you as a donor.
I got to look into it, see where there's a donation center. I could probably go 3 times before noon.
Google it. Where can I donate my poop? Hey, Alexa.
Nope, don't want that on there either. Hey, did we talk about last time, like poop in the movies? I don't know if we did.
I don't think we do either. That's
Because there's the very famous Dumb and Dumber scene.
best poop scene ever, I think. His legs are up in the air.
Yeah.
And we can all feel that pain there too, because we've all been there at one point or another where we're like, I gotta take a shit in someone's house. I don't want to do this.
Oh.
Or anywhere else that's uncomfortable.
Have you found that you said you like to just poop at your house? And I definitely was like that growing up. There's no way I was pooping at school.
I don't have any kind of fear of pooping out. It's not like I'm like one of those people who are like, I won't poop out. It's just, I'll poop out anywhere with a bidet. Put it in the middle of the street, I'll poop on it.
I've gotten to the point where, and it drives my daughters crazy. We'll be stopping at like Michael's and I'm like, I gotta go. They're like, now? I'm like, yeah, gotta go. I don't hold back.
Yeah.
Just gotta go.
I don't hold
gotta
back
go.
either. Yeah. I think actually, I will say, you're right. As a younger person, my stomach would always hurt sometimes when we were out because just like I needed to take a shit and I'm the same way. If I gotta go, I'll go wherever I am. I'm in Lowe's. I've hid there many times.
Yeah. And it's funny. Actually, Kohl's, generally speaking, not a sponsor, they have pretty nice restrooms. So
The best public restroom you've ever been to?
Best one. It's tough because I don't necessarily remember all the good ones. It's the bad ones that you remember the most. Like, how can your aim be so bad in a restroom? I don't get it. People that shit on the back of the toilet or whatever. Like, how do you get it way up there?
Because they're not sitting down. They don't want to sit them. So they're just hovering. They're like squatting over or something. So the restroom at the Hard Rock Cafe in Washington, D.C. was immaculate. Downtown in Washington, D.C., you wouldn't expect it, but it was great. Now, again, this was maybe in mid-90s. It's been a while. It may not be as kosher as it
still
used to
even
be.
open?
I don't even know exactly. But another one is Sweetwater Sound in Fort Wayne. Their bathrooms are always great. You can always go in there and feel very comfortable doing your thing. I've pooped there many times as well. Had no reservations doing it. And for Sweetwater, they're not sponsored, by the way, but if they want to be, we talk more about your bathrooms.
Yeah, contact us.
What about, have you ever seen these like extreme public restrooms, like people shit on a cliffside in Tibet and shit like that, or
like
it's a toilet on a mountain? And yeah, but that was still in a room though. I went in and it was a restroom. It wasn't like,
I don't know. You like to go outside your house. So, I don't know. What do you mean? Explain. Give me an
I just wonder if you've seen any of those. Would you ever do something like that? I don't know, like a cliffside toilet, or I've seen some of those.
If you got to go, you got to go. Problem is wiping when there's no bidet. Yeah. Would I go on the side of a mountain? For sure. So I don't go in my pants. I would do that.
Total another scenario question here for you that just popped in my head here. Okay. Let's say you were captured, you're a prisoner somewhere, right? And you have one bucket in the corner and that's what everyone has to share. Could you do it? I guess you'd have to, but to me, that's the worst part about being captured like that.
Yeah, like you were telling me the one time that you were arrested and you had one communal toilet. What? Why don't you tell us about that again? No,
I was pooping in public, and
I do. Yes, there's certainly at some level a hesitation to poop in front of other people and to poop in a bucket. That would absolutely suck.
I imagine like in prison too, because you're sharing a toilet with everybody. You have to get used to it.
Yeah. I would say, I think at some point you just have to go. So
Yeah.
you do what you got to do. My biggest fear is always running out of toilet paper in public, not in front of the public, but like at a restaurant or whatever. Like that's the worst. You
Use a sock.
learn. You learn real quick to double check before you sit down.
Yeah.
So
You ever shat your pants?
I know. I don't think so. I think I would have remembered that, but
Yeah, I haven't either. But I do. Like my uncle did it once. It was freaking hilarious. He was telling me like they were driving. He couldn't get out of he had to go. He went to Chipotle or something like that. He just pulled over in the back of a Walmart. He had shit out his pants and he took his pants off and threw them in the trash and drove home.
oh,
Dude.
that's awful.
Yeah.
Topic hopping here, but I did see a note that for Obama's inauguration, there were 5,000 portable toilets.
Bro, really?
5,000. I don't know how many people there were, but that seems like a lot.
How many for Trump's inauguration though? He had 6.
Yeah, it was indoors, and so they couldn't do anything.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
But obviously, they're not all in the same area. But what a shitty job that would be.
Yeah. Wow. Being 6, 4 to that. We're on 4. Yeah, there we go.
Mm.
Have you ever seen the luxury ones? Those really nice ones though. For our wedding, we had one. And it was really cool because it had a little air conditioning up the top, so it kept it nice and cool. There was a sink in there that you press with your feet, and water would come out and soap, and it was just a really nice one. I'm like, this is great. Like, well, more of these have this, and it was obviously twice the price. But
yeah, I went to a wedding last summer, and they had a trailer, and it was so hot outside, but in this restroom trailer, it was. Yeah, like you said, AC, and it was.
I've seen those with some concerts as well, like some.
Yeah, same thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, really nice. Spent as much time in there as I could. It's not true.
In your research, did you come across the diarrhea plane?
No.
This is the worst story I have ever heard in my life of shit. Okay. September 2023, so not too long ago, there was a Delta flight that was going from Atlanta to Barcelona, I think is what it was. And they were forced to turn back about 2 hours in for what the pilot called a biohazard issue. Okay. Someone on the flight had explosive diarrhea down the hall as they're racing to the toilet.
Oh.
So the entire length of the plane is filled with diarrhea. And okay, crew members are passing out wet wipes to passengers so they can clean themselves. They're lifting up the rug because it's soaked. It's not even like it was ridiculous amount. And they're passing out blankets, that kind of stuff. So you can soak up the diarrhea around you. They had to turn around and obviously return back to Atlanta. I think it was delayed like 9 hours to get back off again. It was ridiculous. But, oh my God, I don't think I would fly again. I think I'm done. I used to work at a bookstore out in San Diego. We would always there'd be like a lot of homeless people who would sit there and read, which is fine. Like the open public area, but they would use our bathroom. At the end of the night, man, it was awful to clean up. And of course, I was the manager. Usually no one else wanted to touch it. That was not fun.
No. I did come across, I had never heard of this, enema coffees. So also known as colon coffees, but it's a type of alternative therapy that involves inserting coffee into the rectum through an enema. People claim that it helps to detoxify the body. It improves their digestion and may even reduce cancer risks.
Really?
That's what they say, but
Is it warm coffee?
I don't think you're taking actual like a cup of coffee and rinsing. I think it's like it's an enema. So I guess you got to do something with it, right?
Yeah, maybe it's iced coffee.
You know what? That was the information that I looked up and got, and I didn't go any further. So
You're like, I'm done. I'm good there.
interesting enough, we were talking about like porta potties and stuff like that, but in public restrooms, like airports especially, the very first toilet is usually the least used, therefore the cleanest.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense because I always make a beeline to the back end.
You always, I bet. Oh, I just go where there's nobody else. That's my first priority.
I'm a bigger dude though, so I always try to find like the handicap stall or something like that because it's just a little bit more comfortable. I'm not touching both sides of the wall while I'm taking a shit. It's hard to wipe clothes in too.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, the secret, if you haven't figured it out, is find the family restroom because it's
Yeah.
nice and big and it's like going at home minus the
Yeah.
bidet. Yeah.
Speaking of wiping,
Oh,
are you a stander or a sitter when you wipe?
I'm a sitter.
Interesting. I'm a stander.
You are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. Thought that was like
Yeah.
a kid thing.
I don't know. No, I just do. That's how I've always done it. No, not anymore. Actually, now it's a bidet. But when I do have to wipe,
Interesting. I find that it makes more of a mess if you stand.
no, not for me. I don't have any.
You stand full straight up or you
No, it's like more like a hunched walk kind of thing.
Okay,
So-
okay.
But I'm not like sitting on. I'm not like squatting.
You know what? Somebody just texted me. They said, Aaron, please post a picture of that. That's
Into that.
So
What about other bathroom etiquette? Talking on the phone while pooping, and either in the public or in private.
oh, definitely in public. I don't talk on the phone while I'm pooping, even if it's a private one toilet stall. I don't do that. Have I done it at home? Sure. If somebody calls, if my sister calls and I need to answer it and I'm on the toilet, for sure. I'll usually ask people to hold on a second, but I'll answer the phone for sure. But these days, you throw in an AirPod, they're not going to know unless you're grunting.
So you flush because you do a little bit of that in the background.
Yes, but yeah, you just mute it before that. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't usually answer the phone when I put that's my time. Where I sit.
You don't answer
Drip.
the phone anytime. Who you kidding?
That's true. That's true. But I sit and drip there, man. That's my sit and drip time. And so obviously we know the rule, the man rule at least. One stall between every person and the urinals.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's uncomfortable. Have you ever gone in with a friend and they're just chatting with you while you're pissing?
Yes.
Dude, shut up. I don't want to talk to you, man.
Look, I know we're friends and all, but Steve, actually, it's funny. Years ago, I was at a Chi-Chi's back when it was just a great place to go for late night, free chips and salsa and cheap beer. And we played darts all night long. But anyway, I went in, and as I entered the restroom, which had 2 urinals and 1 toilet, there were too many people came into the restroom after me. And of course, I'm at one of the urinals, and there's this spider, his legs, it had to be 3 inches around. And this thing is crawling down the wall and onto my urinal as I'm going. The guy next to me happened to look over and he was like, wow, look at the size of that. To which I'm like, you guys are witnesses.
You just thought.
Yeah,
Everyone heard it.
Of course, they're like, what? Friends are like, dude. Awesome.
Nice. I used to work at a place in DC. I used to work a government contracting job. And this particular company I was with, they were just starting this branch up. And they had a whole floor that they had purchased and opened, but no one had populated it. So it was just my team. It was me and 2 other guys on the entire floor, which was fun because we play hockey in the hall.
Walk around naked. I get it.
Yeah, but I remember going in the bathroom distinctly there. One time I'm sitting there and one of the other guys comes in and just starts chatting with me. I'm like, dude, I am not talking to you. Like, no, you need to go away. Wow, what's wrong? He went, dude, you know the rules. Come on. It's an unspoken rule.
It is. Absolutely. Not related to that at all. But I had read that only 80% of people wash their hands after using the bathroom.
Really?
And only 30% of those use soap. What? I don't know. I can't do the math. I don't know what that percentage is. But only 5% of people wash their hands for the recommended 15 seconds.
Yeah, I've recommended 15 seconds is long. You're like, God damn, this is forever.
You're supposed to be able to sing happy birthday like once or twice or something like that while you wash your hands.
That's true. I do remember that. Especially that was really pressed obviously in COVID.
Yeah.
It's interesting that I feel like people have gone away from that again. Like we've regressed completely from it never happened.
Yeah, I don't get it. And I understand that airports are dirty. You could still rinse your hands off. Do me a favor. That is so gross.
I don't think there's any excuse for it in like an airport or one of those places that everything's automated. I can get the argument in a shitty bar or something like that where I don't even know what's happened here. I don't want to touch anything. I know where I've been. I'm just touching my stuff and I'm walking out. I'm not even flushing the toilet.
Yeah, I get it. Especially if it's a really bad dive bar and you're thinking that everything is dirty and like your hands are actually probably cleaner, then I get that. But yeah, like you said, I don't know. It's the airport. It's gross. Come on.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I can say I do it all the time at home. You know, like when I'm out in public, for sure I do. But like at home, I for sure wash my hands, especially before I cook dinner. And also, it's not like I'm handling food with it, but I don't necessarily.
We'll edit
all the
that part
time.
out. So we'll edit that part out so people don't think you're gross.
You wash your hands out all the time after every single one?
Yes. Yeah. After working in food service for so many years. Yeah. I'm used to washing my hands 300 times a day. You know, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think maybe the bidet too feels like I'm not even around there.
Okay. Now there's an argument to be made for that where you're not touching your ass. So I don't want to say I'm going to forgive you.
But everyone else touches that knob to turn the bidet on too. So I get that.
But again, how bad are your hands before you go in there? You're shitting with a bidet. You don't have to touch anything. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll let it slide. We'll leave that in. We won't edit anything out. So I had somebody send in a poop story. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it to you. Names have been redacted.
To protect the innocent.
That's right. My poop explosion nightmare. I'll never forget the day the poop exploded in Philadelphia. It was April 2018, and I was living in a small apartment in Center City, which I had to look it up as some part of like downtown Philly. I had just flushed the toilet after a particularly rough morning, and I was looking forward to a relaxing day. But little did I know, my life was about to take a drastic turn. As I walked back into my kitchen, I heard a strange rumbling noise coming from the bathroom. At first, I thought it was just the pipe struggling, but then I heard a loud explosion followed by the sound of rushing water. I rushed back into the bathroom to find that the toilet had overflowed, spewing forth a tidal wave of poop and toilet water. The smell was overwhelming, and I could feel the warm, sticky liquid spreading across the floor. Oh, that's awful.
Why warm and sticky? Come on.
No, what were you doing? I had to act fast. I grabbed a mop, some buckets, and a mask and set out to fight the poop apocalypse.
Jeez, apocalypse.
That's awesome. As I made my way through the apartment, I saw some of the most horrific things I've ever witnessed. Things were covered with poop and being destroyed, and the once great city of Philadelphia was reduced to a war zone. I can't even read it. This is funny. Okay, it wasn't that bad. It took weeks to clean up from the mess, but eventually life began to return to normal. The poop explosion was a disaster that I'll never forget, and I'll never look at a toilet the same way. Cheers, Anthony. So there, I didn't redact his name.
There was a friend of ours who bought a house not too far from here, and she just purchased it. And like within a week, before she moved in, even she hadn't even moved in, she walked in and there was shit all over her floor. And she's, what the hell? So she got the plumbers out there. They ended up digging out the whole plumbing from the ground. Like she had to tear up her driveway to get to it. Turns out that the house next door to it, whenever they built the whole thing, they just plugged them both together and say, here we go. These people are shitting and these people are shitting. And just kind of pushed back up into her house. And it was ridiculous. They ended up obviously having to redo the entire plumbing. The city had to come out and do it. It was a mess.
Have you ever, I know you had pipes burst or something, but not a toilet. I've never experienced it. That would be pretty bad.
Water damage sucks. I'm just going to say, man, because it gets everywhere. And not that fire damage sucks. All damage sucks. But water damage just sucks.
I was trying to find something unique for this episode. And are you familiar with Lemmy Winks?
No.
He is referred to as the brave and adventurous gerbil from South Park.
Okay, I am then. Yes, I remember this now. Yeah.
Yes.
Was Mr. Slade?
Yes. I forgot about Lemmy Winks and the songs, and yes,
Richard Gere and everybody else. Yeah. I saw somewhere that stadiums see a spike in bathroom issues during the halftime breaks. Like all of a sudden, because everyone rushes out, obviously during the breaks or whatever else, or like between innings and stuff like that. And
yeah,
it's the toilets, and there's just tons of issues after that.
I guess nationally, during halftime of the Super Bowl is when toilets are flushed the most of any other time of the year.
Yeah.
I remember one time, and we haven't talked about him in a while, but when I lived in New York, I went to the old Yankee Stadium and saw Billy Joel perform there. And I remember there was an usher or somebody working there who's I've never seen this place rock like it is. The water in the toilets were sloshing
Oh,
back and
shit.
forth
Wow.
from yeah.
People
So
jumping and stuff like that. Wow.
Billy Joel brings the best out of everybody.
Yeah. This isn't necessarily like poop related, but I did come across this thing called Fatberg crisis. Did you come across this at all when you were doing research?
No, repeat it again. What's it called? No,
The Fatberg, Fatberg.
that does not ring a bell.
Okay, this is 2007 Fatberg crisis. It's in London. Basically, people were starting to complain like, hey, toilets aren't flushing, we're starting to get backed up, whatever else. And so the city crews went down into the sewers and they found basically a 15-ton ball of congealed fat, feces, shit, toilet paper, feminine wipes. Disgusting. And it took 10 days to remove it, to unblock this thing. And they think that it's obvious because people dump fat down the drains, and there's a point where the congeal.
Yes, I do remember seeing something about that. I didn't recognize the name, but yes, I have seen documentary. I don't know, something about it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then I had another thing about animals that eat their own poop. Going back to people eating poop or using medicine or whatever else. Rabbits eat their poop. Koalas, baby elephants all eat their poop. I didn't realize that. It's something with their immune system or whatever else. They don't get the nutrients that they have, which is why they eat it. And not all beagles, but like some beagles do. And my brother had just one of these beagles and asked us to watch him. Yeah, sure. We had two of the dogs too. Not really realizing this. And so our backyard is already a smorgasbord of shit for this dog to come chow down on him. And so he goes out, does the thing, eats everything, right? Comes back in and then starts hacking up. And I tell you, cleaning up vomited shit is like a double negative. I could hardly keep my own chunks from spewing. It was gross.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it was disastrous. Here's this bile-covered turd in my house that just smelled god awful. The worst smell you've ever smelled. We didn't watch The Beagle anymore after that.
Yeah, sorry, dude. We're out of time.
Oh man.
Yeah. Guess you can't go anywhere, Ben.
There are, I know we talked about this in the last time too, but just to mention it again, there are apps as well that analyze your poops and track your pooping and whatever else. And I looked at some of them, some of the names. Poopalizer was one, Poopify was another one, but my favorite is just called Plop.
That's awesome.
I was like, that's great.
So I do use Poop Map. It's an app and it's for tracking your poop, but it also shows you like where you pooped. So if that's part of your thing is to poop in random places around town or restaurants or whatever, you can track them.
We'll take a screenshot of Brett's poop map and post it on our website for you. I pooped in the same place as Brett.
Yeah. It's funny because you could be friends with people on the app. And so what you do is you see where they poop, and then it's designed for you to give a description and all this, but it's mostly used for yourself. So you can go back and see what it is. It's a poop tracker, but you can also see what your friends are doing and how their poops are going. So it's entertaining.
Poop competitions and
yeah,
challenges, get awards.
I don't, you know what? There should be like badges that you get for this.
But I'm saying that'd be fun, like they do on Untapped.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
Which, by the way, if you have Untapped, you can check us out at AYSM_show. We review every beer that we drink on there. That's a lot of fun. And you can also learn more about us at AYSM.show, the website. That's you'll see our socials on there. There's links to all of our episodes and everything else. One more thing before we leave. Poop is a universal experience, right? So why is it so taboo for us to talk about, but also so hilarious at the same time? Everyone finds it funny, but no one talks about it. What do you think? Thoughts?
I think that part of it is it's a sophomoric humor, and that's obviously our jam. I think that it is funny as a kid, and some of us just don't grow out of it. I definitely think that for women, maybe it's because they don't poop as much. It's not as funny. And I guarantee it's funnier for guys than it is for women. I don't know.
Leave it there. Last, what's your thoughts on the beer? Shits and Giggles by Bad Dad Brewing Company.
I love the name. Shits and Giggles is funny. So anytime there's something like that, I enjoy it. I think that it's a good colored beer, has a nice head on it. I'm not enjoying it.
They're out of Fairmount, Indiana. Bad Dad Brewing Company. Check them out. It's an Oktoberfest beer lagered in a German style.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to do another website. It's going to be pooper.com, and it's going to be 16 O's and 12 E's, and one of them's going to have a little dash over it. So go check that out if you want.
The umlaut.
Absolutely.
So what would you rate it then? What do you think we're going to rate it here?
If it was up to me, this is about a 2.5.
I'd go with that too. Yeah, I'm about there. So 2.5 it is.
Cool. All right,
All
Dad
right.
Bod. Very good. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please tune in next time because we're going to be talking about